Morning, morning. How's everyone doing? Thank you all for joining us for our next workshop. It's great to have you, and I hope some of you were able to attend our first workshop with API 3. And I will shortly be introducing Amos to the stage, who will be able to deliver his workshop from Perion. So I'll quickly invite him to the stage, but I hope you're all doing well, that you've already managed to start thinking about your bounty, what you're going to be building over the next 4 weeks. And yeah, it's great to get started. Hi, Amos, how are you doing?
Hey, Michael, how you going?
Yeah, great, thanks. Thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate you giving up your time, and I think people are really excited to hear from you today. So,
Awesome.
So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. So can I pull up some slides?
Yeah, go for it. You can share your screen. I'll let you know that it's all visible.
Fantastic. How's that?
Yeah, that looks perfect. You can see it great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, everyone. So I'm Amos, and I'm a co-founder and CTO at Perion. At Perion, our mission is to accelerate the shift to Web3 gaming. So that's taking Web2 gamers and bringing them into Web3. So I've got a little presentation here. It's quite short. I'm not sure if we'll actually go for an hour, but if questions take a little while, maybe we'll actually hit that. So yeah, on the agenda, I just wanted to kind of go into a little bit about Perion, where Perion came from, and what we're aiming to do into the future. Then I wanted to show you our flagship product, which is XP. And then I will go over the challenge and the challenge requirements, as well as the bounties. And then I'll just leave it open for questions at the end. But maybe we'll pause for questions at each stage as well. Yeah, so first up, so Perion. So our origin story, I got into Axie quite early. So I've been in crypto since 2017, and I saw Axie coming up, and I've always been like a really big gamer. Have been obsessed with League of Legends and quite addicted to the game. So I put that down, had a relationship with a partner at the time, and kind of had all the focus on that. But come COVID time, and I started getting back into gaming, and I was already getting into crypto. So I saw Axie Infinity, and I heard about the scholarship programs that you could do, and I just thought it was really interesting. I've got a bunch of younger sisters. I've got 6 younger sisters, and I wanted to get them involved in crypto and get them earning some money as well. So I started learning about Axie, and before I could get them involved, I had to learn about it myself. And I bought my first 3 Axies, started playing a lot, and my goal was to get to the top 1,000. So when you got to the top 1,000, you were in the leaderboard, and you would get distributed AXS, which is their governance token, just for being in the top 1,000. So I did that. I managed to get to the top 1,000, and then by the time I realized I was in the top 1,000, I was maybe 800. So the next goal was to get to the top 100. The next goal after that was to get to the top 10. And then I was like, I've got to try and get to number 1. So yeah, pushed to get to number 1, got to number 1 in the world at Axie. I think that was season 15. And then held that spot on and off throughout season 15 and 16. So while this was all happening, this was still on ETH at the time, and it was before the big Ronin switch, which was a massive game changer for Axie, the community, relating to LightLink. It reduced the transaction fees dramatically, and the scale of what happened there was incredible. We went from about 60,000 daily active players to like 3 million or 3.5 million daily active players at the peak. And it must have been within 4 or 5 months or so. It was insane. So when we did switch to Ronin, during COVID, in Melbourne, it was one of the worst lockdowns in the whole world. So I think it was the worst lockdown in the whole world. Actually, we were locked down for almost 2 years. And one of the rules was you couldn't leave, I think, more than a 5-kilometer radius, and you had to have a reason to be leaving. So reasons could be going to get groceries. You could exercise for, I think, half an hour or an hour a day. But you could also go take your dog for a walk. So I ended up getting a dog during COVID, a really cute whippet. And I went to the dog park. First day I was there, my dog ran over to this couple and started like jumping all over them. And that's how I met my other co-founder, Mitch. And we started talking about crypto. And then when I started getting excited about Axie, we started talking about what we could do there. And I'd also talked to Jan, the third co-founder, about what we were doing. And we came up with a bit of a plan for how we could become one of the largest breeders and distributors of NFTs in the Axie ecosystem, and how we could, how we could build around that. So I'm not sure if there's any gamers in the audience, but what we did is, rather than myself being that number one, we onboarded scholars, but we onboarded like the best. So what we did is we would give the best scholars the Axies we were breeding, and they would get to number one in the world, and that would start changing the meta. And as the meta changed, they were using Axies that we were breeding, and then we were able to sell them into the market for higher prices and have a better profitability on our breeding operation. So then we got in contact with some investors and started raising capital. We did our IDO and raised from some of the best investors in the world. We've got CMCC, Pantera, Animoca Brands, Gemini's on the cap table as well. Bunch of other like really, really amazing investors. That's pretty much the initial origin story from where we started. Axie got hacked. It went downhill really, really fast. And we needed to move into different areas like a lot of the other quote guilds in the space. So we did a lot of the similar things that some other guilds did. We had some investments as our DAO, and we kind of started building products. So we always like stayed true to our kind of like gaming story. At the moment we've got 2 products, but before we jump into that, I might jump into the DAO, just so you can have a look at that. So on the Perion.gg website, Perion DAO, open platform, allowing for all participants to help shape Perion's direction. As I said, our mission to accelerate the shift to Web3 gaming. And if you want to get involved, there's Discords. You can have a look at our governance platform, which is really, really awesome. So proposals are put on our governance platform, and then you can go vote on them, which is really, really cool. And then we've got forums and staking and all that sort of stuff as well. So that's the DAO. and then I'll go into our two products. So because we're in the gaming space, we actually had a good relationship with the ZBet team. The ZRun team. So we created a little product for their community to do peer-to-peer wagering. What that's transformed into is FanPlay. So this is a peer-to-peer wagering platform. The alpha is going to be released in, I think it's actually either end of this month or next month. Done closed beta testing and stuff. And what it's trying to do is it's trying to turn, I guess, the spectators into players. So for a lot of people in the NFT space, actually buying an NFT is a massive, can be a deal breaker, right? So to play ZRun, you actually have to buy one of those horses. You have to put your own money down, and it could be a total deal breaker to you actually playing the game, because you need to install the wallets, you need to get ETH or Matic to pay your gas fees, etc. So what we wanted to do is make that a little bit easier. So you don't have to own the horse. You don't need to do the research. You can start watching races and making wagers on them in a peer-to-peer way. So it's much, much fairer than, say, your normal order book. And then you can get your Z horse or your Derby Stars horse and start having fun there. So I think they've just signed a partnership with Derby Stars. So that's going to be their next game. Also feel free to check out fanplay.gg. It's awesome. It's really, really fun. You get to watch the kind of games as you make wagers. It's all linked up to Discord and stuff, so you can talk smack and that sort of stuff while you're doing it. Have a look at that if you have some time. That's the first product, our DAO and our origin story. So before I move into XP, which is our flagship product, I was just wondering, does anyone have any questions about that, or like any more information on what I've just talked about? That's easier. Fantastic. Yeah. If anytime you have a question, I think we'll pause after each piece, and happy to answer any questions, even if they're not completely related to what I'm talking about. We'd love to chat.
I think it might be best if once you've kind of run through the whole presentation, like then at the end, people will obviously be able to like write the questions as you go, and then address them all at the end, if that's okay with you.
Fantastic. Let's do that.
Amazing.
Awesome. Cool. So XP.gg came because it was an idea around a lot of these stats platforms on different gaming websites. They're really segmented. A lot of the gaming ecosystems are really segmented. We've had people, users that we've spoken to, have kind of like a massive sadness when, say, one of their favorite games that they've spent, thousands of hours or hundreds of hours in gets shut down, and all of the servers disappear, all of the data disappears. That was like a really, it was part of their identity, right? So we wanted to create a place where you have one profile to rule them all. So all of your stats across different games would all connect in the one place, and that would be stored and not go down. So I've also had this issue. My League of Legends account, I haven't played on it in maybe like 8 years or so, or maybe less, maybe like 5 years. I might be kidding myself. And all of my old data, all of the awesome wins that I had, all of the, dramatic losses, and just the stats of like my favorite champions and that sort of stuff, all just kind of like lost to the ether. So it's part of the reason for starting to create XP. So on this, I'll just go through what is XP, target segment, what we've built or what we're building, and what we're trying to do next. So we believe there's 3 key elements to why a game is game. There are obviously other ones, but 3 key ones that we're focusing on is competition. This is the motivation and satisfaction gained from putting in effort and winning. Connection. This is a joy that comes with building stronger ties with your fellow gamer. And clout. This is the pride in gaining and sharing one's achievements. So XP's job, or what we're trying to do here, is we're trying to make gamers get good. So we want them to get better. We want them to be at their peak performance. Think like Strava for gamers. Our kind of differentiating factor here, though, is we're not just giving you, say, the resources to see your stats or coaching materials for you to get better. We're going to help gamers get good by increasing competition. So, for example, that might be having something on the line, or it might be creating competitions that are more valuable to you, say like a competition with your close friends. So we also want to increase connection. So just like if you're going to the gym with a friend, you're going to push each other to get better, and you will likely actually get better, fitter, stronger, healthier if you're going with a friend, or if you're in a friendship group where that's really important. And then lastly, we've got clout. So by actually giving gamers something that they care about, that they can display, that they can showcase, potentially not just in the game, but outside of the game, say like an NFT, and they might be able to unlock specific spaces that they couldn't unlock without that NFT. I'm not sure how many gamers are in the audience, but I think of, say, like RuneScape and level 99 woodcutting cape, right? If that was an NFT and I got that and I could mint that as an NFT, then maybe I can go to, like, I don't know, meetups for people that have a 99 stat in RuneScape and meet like-minded people there. It's just an example. It's a pretty nerdy example, but yeah. So yeah, XP is focused on elevating those to help gamers get good. Our target segment, we're building for a competitive social gamer. So this is someone that plays initially FPSs 3 times a week with their friends. They invest in building their skills and invest in in-game worlds by purchasing skins, cosmetics, and season passes. So our phase 1 is what we're building, and some of these are already built. This is our alpha phase. So that one profile, share-worthy stats, comparisons, and team pages. And just to preface, I guess crypto moves extremely fast and startups move extremely fast as well. So something that was like this presentation that was brand new a couple of months ago has changed. So if I'm going a little bit off the script of what the presentation is, that's why. So then our MVP, because of how the crypto market's changing and is getting, I don't know, gaming's had like a lot of eyeballs on it at the moment, especially Web3 gaming. So we're actually pulling the Web3 components a little bit, way up to speed. So we're actually, our initial plan here was to build a huge Web2 audience and then try to transition them over. Now we're looking to build that Web2 and Web3 audience at the same time through giving value to them as gamers, regardless of whether they're Web3 or Web2. So here were some of the kind of initial ideas, and some of these ideas may or may not help you with the challenge. But some of the ideas we were looking at validating for MVP were stuff like, are you up for the challenge? Jim says he's twice as good as you. He thinks he can get 2 kills for every 1 kill that you get. Prove it, prove him wrong, and reap the rewards. So that's kind of like handicapping in golf, for example, but within gaming. Meet your match was a fun idea around like a lot of people in gaming that we spoke to were kind of solo players and didn't necessarily know how to, even if they were in a call with another gamer, actually connect with them so that they could continue playing with them. So Meet Your Match was to kind of help gamers find, I guess, better duo queue or better team players for them in, I guess, a less confronting way than speaking on the phone or having to ask them or trying to join another person's squad that's already built. Then we got some ideas around localization of leaderboards instead of kind of world stage leaderboards, which don't mean much to anyone outside of a certain number. Actually having like quite localized leaderboards would be much more valuable to someone. And then just kind of like feeds around that. So when this person's increased their headshot rate by 5% over the last month, and similar to that Strava thing where you get notifications when your friends are doing a run or have hit a personal best, etc. Cool. So that's high level. And then I just wanted to quickly run you through the platform as well. So this is xp.gg. This is just a landing page. And the whole idea is get good. So we're always coming back to get good. Everything we're doing here is for a player to get good, get better, and be kind of the best player that they can be. We've gone through all this, so I might just actually run you through, that looks like. Cool, so you can sign up. Cool. So that was just like a basic sign up, verifying email and stuff. So from here, we can then go link accounts. Currently, we're supporting Steam, CSGO, and Fortnite through Epic Games. And I can also go search people. So I can go search myself. And then it shows me quite a nice little summary of my play as a Steam player. I actually am not a massive Steam player, as I said, League of Legends player, but what we show here is just some kind of like cool things to kind of like take you back in time of your journey as a gamer. So for example, I can see the first game I ever purchased was Age of Empires 3. You can see game with most achievement, what my rarest achievement was, what my first achievement was, the genre that I play the most of, most played game, PUBG, and then just some fun stuff like total value of my games, and then the cheapest and most expensive game that's in my collection. From here, I can also check out my Counter-Strike stats. So here we can see I don't have a lot of stats, but total time played, skills, MVPs that I've got, favorite weapons, most shot weapon, maps that I've played, and this sort of stuff. So super basic. This was our alpha concept before we started adding any gamification or really fun stuff, and was just so that someone could come to xp.gg, connect their Steam, see that information, see their Counter-Strike, add their Fortnite, have that all in one place, and just as a proof of concept to us that we can get all of this information and it can actually work seamlessly. So that's xp.gg. There's some other cool things in here, like we can show settings, linking accounts from here. I really love the whole UI of this, and we did spend quite a lot of time making that UI really nice, because this is one of the things with crypto as well. Often the UI is rushed. We just build out products, copying someone else's UI, rushing through it, and we want this to really appeal to gamers. Like, we want this to appeal to that full audience. Awesome. So that's it for XP, and I hope that those two, the slides and the kind of website xp.gg, kind of give you an idea of where we've been, where our head's at, some of the thinking that will hopefully give you better idea of the challenges and what we're thinking about and what you could be thinking about. Cool. So challenge. We've actually updated this a little bit. I'm not sure if that's updated in the Notion page just yet, but bounty and everything's still the same. We thought we'd just switch up the challenge requirements and stuff to just leave it a little bit more open. So we've got a $5,000 bounty. There's going to be 5 winners, $1,000 each. And hackers are to build a simple season rewards functionality, which enables gamers to complete quests and earn XP tokens. Level up based on XP earned. There should be multiple levels. And then we've got the challenge requirements. If on this, as I kind of go through this, it'd be awesome if you guys have any ideas, thoughts. There's no silly thoughts or anything like that. Would love to hear them. Would love to bounce some ideas to and fro if anyone's up for it. But yeah, we'd like to include an XP token, some sort of quests, multiple levels, a token burn mechanism, entertaining ways to gain XP token, and then some sort of gamification. And then bonus points for innovative mechanics and social components. So that's the challenge. And then we're up for questions. So I might just stop sharing my screen there. I've been talking for a while now. And yeah, does anyone have any questions?
Thanks a lot, Amos. We do have a couple of questions in the chat, which people answered, which I'm happy to read out for you if you'd like.
Awesome.
So we do have a question from Ralph, who was just asking if you could tell us a bit more about the DAO and kind of what activities you do with that.
Cool. So I can run through the voting system, but essentially the DAO has it's actually really cool. The whole system of the DAO is really cool. It has 3 main components and 2 voting stages. So how we go through it is our initial stage is in a forum. So people can bring things up in a forum, and a proposal can be created in that forum. From there, if that proposal is getting like a lot of traction, then we actually bring it out to an official proposal. And then with the official proposal, it actually needs to be proposed by one of the 3 sub-DAOs of Perion. We have the gaming sub-DAO, we have the product sub-DAO, and we have the treasury sub-DAO. So if it was something along the lines of an investment proposal, that would probably be brought to the table by the treasury sub-DAO. And then the first voting system, the community's voting, generally the sub-DAO that creates the proposal will vote that through because they're actually pitching that proposal. And then we also have an independent, which is generally one of the investors in the DAO, a large investor. And then we move to the second stage where the sub-DAOs the other sub-DAOs, not the first 3, actually vote to move that through to be executed. There's also Discord. There's lots of kind of back and forth in the Discord. So yeah, that's how the DAO works. We are looking for it to continually get more and more decentralized. But we have made a trade-off with some centralization because we found that a lot of DAOs that we saw that were kind of completely open actually made some really bad decisions or were forced to make decisions because the community voted for something that might actually even get the DAO in trouble. One example of that is Merit Circle voting. I think they voted off YGG from their cap table, which was not really something that should have happened. So yeah, that's why we've kind of opted for something that is slightly more centralized, but we'll work continuously to improve that, and I'm really excited for that.
Amazing, thank you for that. That was a very detailed answer. So if you do have any follow-up questions around, feel free to follow up and we'll get back to you. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next one. And I think you're going to touch on it at the very beginning, but we're just wondering if you could tell us a bit more on the voting system in Solidity.
Yeah, so how that works, let me
feel free to share your screen again.
I might share my screen. I might post it in the chat as well. So this is where the voting system is. If you want to take a look. And I might just quickly put my screen too. So I kind of explained it with that voting. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it. Great. Thanks.
Awesome. So you can see, for example, here's one of the proposals. So one of the proposals that came through was actually sunsetting our Axie esports team. So we did have an Axie esports team, and it was definitely a hard decision to make. But the DAO decided that it wasn't the right direction for us to be spending focus and time on. So we can see it's actually in the forum, and this is just a voting piece. So we can see in the forum where the contributors for this are from. So I was one of the contributors of this, and we go through like a summary of what we think we should be winding this down, and goes through, and then we have our votes that come through here. So the community vote actually didn't hit the minimum threshold. So there's a minimum threshold for that to be voted, so that someone can't just put like one vote down. And then our independent voted yes, and then the gaming sub-DAO also voted yes. We moved on to stage 2, and we see our stage 1 results was a yes, and then the other 2 sub-DAOs need to also pass that. So that was 3 votes for and 3 votes for on the product and treasury subDAO. Now, how this works on the back end, it's not completely on chain, but all of the votes are signed through your MetaMask. We store them, and then when it goes through at the end, that's when we actually push those votes on chain. So yeah, that's our voting system.
Perfect. Thank you for that. I hope that clarifies your question, Olubamni, but feel free to, again, follow up on that if we can help in any way. And we have another question based on gamer metrics. So I was just wondering how exactly a gamer metrics computed, and as a follow-up, like, is it the game itself that submits it to XP?
Sure. So with the gamer metrics, there's a lot of, I guess, open data there. So Steam, for example, has a Steam API. It's public. It's really easy to get access to. I think you initially get 100,000 requests per day. This is very similar for a lot of the other games. A lot of them are on Steam, but they all have APIs that are open, that they're constantly updating. So that's how we get that data for XP.
Perfect. Thank you. And I think we have, I think this question was related to when you're talking about Perion's bounty. So the question is, so the idea in its basic form is to, for example, make Steam achievements a quest. So yeah, that was the question.
Yeah, that could be one solution. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. Was there anything you'd like to add?
I guess there could be other solutions. I guess achievements is one piece of data that you could get. There's a lot of other pieces of data that are out there and open that you could also be creative with.
Okay. And I think so. We next have a question from Frankie, and that is there a page or video to demo samples on how to seed it?
Is it?
And I can't remember exactly what she was referring to here. I'm not sure if she was if Frank is able to put more context to that in the chat, just so we can answer the right thing. But I think as Frankie is typing, we can go to the next question, then go back to that one. So the next one is, so another company like GOG tried to do something similar with their launcher and stats aggregator, but failed to capture enough interest due to lack of incentives. So kind of how do you plan to incentivize people to use XP? And just to give another example, EGS is giving away freebies every Thursday to keep you engaging with it rather than Steam.
Yeah, so I think I've seen the one that GOG did. We do have a plan for incentivizing people to use the platform. We're still fleshing it out, and but it involves really cool gamification, and it's just involves really cool gamification. But an example of another one that does work is I believe Blitz.gg has kind of like tournaments, and they put prize pools up for people to enter those tournaments, and the people don't necessarily have to do anything different. They just continue playing the game that they're playing. We want to, I guess, increase those elements of competition and connection is what we're going to be focusing on. And by increasing those elements with incentives and I guess, a core value proposition to a user that if in 3 months they haven't got better at playing games, then like that's the core reason that a user's on the platform. It is to get good. It's not necessarily to earn money. If they do earn money while they're getting good, that's awesome. But if they don't earn money or actually hit those incentives, they're still actually getting good from using the platform.
Great. Yeah, I think that's like also like interesting ideas, and like definitely something that could be incorporated as well. So I think that is currently all the questions we've got, although I can see people typing intermittently, so they might still be formulating some more questions, but yes, they still are. We will wait for you, don't worry. But I think in the meantime, as we do have a little bit more time, I'm not sure if there's anything in your presentation that you maybe went over that you thought maybe you thought like there wouldn't be enough time and like you wanted to cover it in more detail, or even maybe it, like as we've got people on the call, like if there's something particularly exciting about your bounty that you're looking forward to seeing people build, just if you kind of wanted to give any pointers on that.
Yeah, cool. I'm really excited to see I guess people's creativity with this. I think we could make, like, people could make something quite simple here, but I think at the same time there's kind of like so much access to data, and there's so many fun things that kind of haven't been explored. And I hear a lot of people, especially like, I hear a lot of people talking about novel use cases of blockchain and how valuable these novel use cases of blockchain are. So Axie Infinity is like a perfect example of, like, that was a novel use case of blockchain that people got behind, people thought was like really amazing, and still has an amazing following. But there's so many more of these kind of novel use cases of blockchain. So really excited to see people's creativity, people having a little bit of fun with it, trying to do something that, I don't know, might not have been done before, or not necessarily just kind of copying something else. And yeah, really having that blockchain element as a huge part of it.
Yeah, I mean, as you're saying, like it's a fast moving space, and your presentation was already kind of saying that there was stuff that you needed to update. So it shows almost how fast they're moving, and I'm sure people building some really exciting things. So I'm also looking forward to seeing what submissions hold in a couple of weeks' time.
Awesome.
So
what do we got there?
Yeah, we have had a couple more questions as you were talking. So the question was, can I also share my code in Solidity and React?
Yeah.
Yep, fairly simple one. And the next one is, so the initial proposition for this bounty is to code some ideas independent of XP integration in mind in the first stage.
Yes. Yeah. So independent of XP, the dive into XP was just so you could understand where we're kind of moving with this sort of thing. So yeah, there's a bunch of platforms out there. Even like GOG was a good example. But the bounty itself is for creating like a simple rewards functionality. So yeah, however you choose to do that, it doesn't necessarily have to be for XP, but yeah, keep what we're doing there in mind. But yeah, the idea is like creativity, novel use cases, cool leveling up systems, fun gamification, I don't know, an interesting token burn system. Doesn't necessarily have have to be kind of like everything. And if you get lost in like creating an awesome leveling system, like that's really really cool. And we want to see that creativity kind of bubbling out and expanding out. That's what we're here for. That's why we're one of the sponsors here.
Great, thank you. I'm sure that kind of answered that question, and I'm very glad that you enjoy Amos's surname so much. I also think it's very cool, and then I think it's slightly more interesting than mine, which is unfortunately a bit more common, at least in the UK.
What else have I got? Is there more questions?
So right now in the chat, we don't have any questions. I see occasionally people are typing, so I think it might be that like they're still formulating them. So we can give them. Can I share it? I'm not quite sure what the Bumleys are referring to there. We can't have guests like sharing their screen, unfortunately, if that's what you wanted. But if you do have like concerns, maybe like we'll be able to kind of reach out to Amos later on if obviously any like specific questions concerning the bounty arise. And we do also have a dedicated channel for Perion in Encode's Discord, where we'll be able to flag any technical questions and then bring it up with your team. Awesome. So yeah, please do keep that in mind, and don't kind of sit on any issues, because obviously there is a limited amount of time, and we want you to be able to build your products as fast as possible. I'm not sure if any more questions will be coming in. We can obviously give it a couple more minutes as we do have more time.
Easy. I think as well. We are in a like hiring phase at the moment. So if that's interesting to anyone that like through the coding challenge or anything like that, if there is any really skilled developers or anything, we'd love to like reach out and stuff. As with I'm sure a lot of the crypto projects kind of sponsoring here.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that's an amazing opportunity for kind of all the Reddit developers. So I guess this is a great opportunity to showcase your skills. I think, yeah, no more questions have flooded in for the time being. Although some people are still seeming to write, so yeah, it's the I'm keeping me on edge.
Yeah, cool. What else? Maybe I should. I guess aside from that, at Perion, we also have a lot of games that we've taken positions in. So some of those games that we've been early backers of are like Shrapnel, which is a really, really popular Web3 game. Gunzilla, again, really, really cool. Lunchbox Entertainment, Metalcore. And on our socials and on my socials personally, really trying to kind of give people as much information about the Web3 gaming space as possible, giving thoughts, threads, breaking different things down in Web3 gaming and relating that to Web2 games as well. So if you're new to Web3 gaming space or interested at all, the page and my Twitter as well is really, really cool.
Yeah, that's great. And I think feel free to share your Twitter in the chat as well, if you want to kind of let people obviously contact you and follow what Perion are doing. I think it's a great way to keep up with the space. And yeah, I think before, I guess related to that, was there any kind of last few words of advice before kind of we wrap things up and then kind of just give like a summary of the week so far?
Yeah. I think let me chuck this down. Yeah, good luck, everyone. Everyone at Perion is really excited to see what submissions come through. We love the gaming space. We love the Web3 space. So, and yeah, like, I don't know, this is such a sharing kind of open knowledge sort of space. So if there is any kind of questions you have, I'm sure these guys can help you out. But also, if you jump in the Perion Discord, there's always people around to kind of offer support and stuff like that as well. So feel free to jump in there as well. But yeah, good luck, everyone. Super excited to see what everyone brings, what everyone submits. It's awesome. And thank you, Michael and the LightLink team. Yeah, this is really, really cool.
Thank you so much, Amos, as well. Like, I really appreciate your time here, and I think like, I guess I've been a gamer in the past as well, and like some of the features that you showed were definitely like really cool, and something that I think gamers can get a lot of value on. I guess things you're talking about in terms of community and also having like a connected interface. I guess in that way you can't kind of hide your skills across multiple platforms. They're all visible on one.
That's it.
I hope that I can prove to my friends that they're not necessarily 2 times better than me with the handicap system. But that was great, and I can see that a lot of people are very thankful for you in the chat. And yeah, I guess this does wrap up like the second workshop of the week. We've already heard from API 3. Now I've heard from Perion. And we have 2 more workshops next week. They will be run by Moon and also Lightflow. So please do keep out for those. I think there happens to be quite a few kind of gaming bounty tracks on this one. I think that's really cool. So I'm sure you will be interested in learning more about this space and kind of Web3 gaming. And as ever, please do go in contact. On our Encode Discord, we are sharing kind of like the hacker pack and all the details. You might have also seen the team formation page. If you're not already in a team and you're a solo hacker, please do post on that as soon as possible, because it'll be really great to get you in active teams as fast as possible so that you can build ideas with other people, because that will really kind of help. And yeah, I think apart from that, there is nothing more to add. So I'll leave you all to enjoy the rest of your day. And one last thanks to Amos from everyone. So yeah, take care, guys, and see you all very soon.